Hi guys, this is Mattias, and in today's video I'd like to talk a little bit about the UI and, well, especially the menu of Battlefield 5. We're talking about the customization and how to just handle your character, your weapons, your upgrades, your skins, and your vehicles. Now, personally, I think this part of Battlefield 5 is one of the worst I've seen in any game ever. And what makes it bad is basically I used to describe it this way: the more clicks and the more time it takes to perform something that you want to do, to make a change or to add something or remove something, the more time and the more clicks that requires, the worse the UI is. And with Battlefield, it's just plain bad. Now, one of my biggest problems is your options for vehicles. As you can see, whether you're on the Allies or the Axis forces, you have 3 vehicles for the ground, a tank, so to speak. Even though, yeah, the Staghound, it's not really a tank. And you have also 3 different planes to choose from. But in fact, the amount of planes you have on the British side is 5. When it comes to tanks, you also have 5, but once you're on a server, you can only choose from 3 pre-selected of each one, and this is just horrible. It's just plain bad. As the first and foremost, you can never really know ahead of time how your game is going to play out. You never know what kind of enemies you're going to face. You're never going to know if you're going to be forced to defend a certain flag longer than another flag, or if you're going to be able to push towards a certain area, even if you've played on that same map plenty of times in the past. So not being able to choose another vehicle than between these 3 pre-selected is really, really annoying. Yeah, of course, the only way that you can make a change is to leave the server and come back, but by then the reason why you made that change is already too late. Now, I guess I could live with the fact that it's really annoying to just switch weapon or switch upgrades on a weapon. It just takes way too much time. It's just way too annoying. But the problem with it is that in order to do a lot of the changes, you just simply have to leave the server. And that have to do with, of course, the vehicles that I said, but also it has to do with assignments. If you finish an assignment, which for the most part you don't even know if you have, because it doesn't track properly, well, sometimes it tracks, but then in order to add a new assignment, again, you have to leave the server. And these things, it just gets more and more irritating to a lot of players, and I have to say I'm one of them. Now, the other day I made a bit of a harsh analogy as I compared DICE and Battlefield 5, or the Battlefield series for that matter, to what it would be like if DICE was a construction company building houses. And a lot of people liked the comparison, so I'll try to retell it here as best as I can. So now imagine if DICE was this state-of-the-art company building houses, and they could build this really big, really advanced, really beautiful, really tall buildings that basically no other company or very few other companies could compete with. Then imagine you had this design. If you had a flat on the 85th floor, then in order to take a shower, you'd have to take the elevator all the way down to the basement. Then you'd have to go through a long corridor, pass through a big garage. Then you have to go outside and you have to go all the way around the laundry house. You have to actually go into the laundry house, turn on the laundry machine in order to unlock a door that takes you to the shower. Now, don't get me wrong, all of these parts of the building could be geniusly made. It could be the most beautiful garage, it could be the most epically looking laundry hall, it could be the most modern, most advanced laundry machines, and the shower itself can be just perfect once you're there. Problem is, of course, living in this house would be really, really annoying. Now, I really hope I don't have to explain that you need to take this analogy with a pinch of salt. So now, another factor that probably plays a rather important part in some of the problems with Battlefield 5 is that during 2018 there was about 40 employees at DICE that was fired. The main reason is supposedly the bad sales of Battlefront 2. And even though I can just speculate, I am guessing that this is going to have a massive effect on the development on the next game for this studio. The next game being Battlefield 5. Now, when it comes to the success of Battlefield 5 so far, and we're now in January of 2019, we do get some rather conflicting reports, even though it seems to me that Battlefield 5 isn't doing anywhere near as good as expected, especially based on the previous game, Battlefield 1. And again, I think it's rather hard to pinpoint why that would be. Just like with any new game that has a lot of changes compared to the previous game in the sequel, the community will at least seemingly be divided between either haters or fanboys, if you want to use those terms. Of course, it is rather problematic that any kind of discussion between these two groups are rather unconstructive, and with the changes that was brought into Battlefield 5, all the new features, it is really hard to know what changes has what effect overall. There's been a lot of discussions about the visibility, for example, and again, a rather polarizing description of these discussions is that campers that wants to prone being more or less invisible, shooting people that are defenseless, they will like the fact that it's almost impossible to see somebody that is prone, while again and again coming up with a bunch of non-arguments about camos that has nothing to do with the problem with visibility in Battlefield 5. Now, don't get me wrong, if you were wearing a ghillie suit with the exact right color or mix of colors that blended in perfectly with these thick bushes here, then yes, you should be very hard to spot. But that's not at all what the visibility problem in Battlefield 5 is about. The problem with visibility in Battlefield 5 is that if you're wearing a uniform, you will blend in with walls, concrete, rocks, piles of books, and stuff like that for no apparent reason, except for the reason that you're lying down or standing still.
Huh. This is without that upgrade for bipods.
Now, sometimes when I'm playing Battlefield 5, I get the feeling that the game design and the decisions taken is meant for one purpose and one purpose only: to make people that plays Battlefield 5 angry. Now, of course, deep down I know that's not true, but sometimes you almost get that impression.
Sorry, I can't get you.
Anyway, I'm going to leave you with some more Bren gameplay here. I hope you will enjoy it.
Yeah.
My name is Mattias, and I want to thank you all for watching.
Ah, that's what I get for being a team player. Oh yeah, baby!
Requesting a JP-2 airstrike at this position. For you, ammo.
Oh baby, a double! Oh, he got me with a pistol. It was a good thing I put that AP mine there. Oh, they're all around this point here. Got smoke? Shit, I think I'm gonna die, but I'll try. I'm going up.
Still one here somewhere.
I think someone is on the bridge or something.
On my mark.
Oh, typical!